like they connect together. That connected with something else.
That makes sense. So man, something heavy duty happened, right? I've been on a real G.I. Joe kick lately. I don't know why, I just have been. I was super big into G.I. Joes, who wasn't, back in the 80s, and holy crap, I've just been on a kick. I've been watching full episodes again on the Hasbro channel and just really getting back into it. My son's watching with me. He's digging it. That's just exciting for me. But as if almost on some kind of a wavelength, a good friend of mine calls me up and tells me that he has unearthed this G.I. Joe collection of his and his brothers from, eons ago in the basement of his mother's house, right? And he wants to know if I'm interested in buying it. I mean, I didn't know what to say because, again, I was just so amped to have some G.I. Joe. I was honestly starting to freak out a little bit. I'm on eBay, like, seeing just how much would I pay to get some of my stuff back, and God, I wouldn't pay what it's going for. And then I get that phone call, right? So my mind's already reeling. What does he want for this stuff? What does he have in this stuff? What does it look like? And oh my God, any of my stuff, any of the stuff that I'm wanting back, is it in this lot? I mean, there was so much G.I. Joe stretching from the early 80s all the way up into the 90s. Just a huge product line. I mean, you couldn't have all of it. I'm sure somebody does, but woo! So much to think about. My tactical battle fortress, the Cobra Night Raven. I mean, what a freaking awe-inspiring thing that was. I mean, is any of that in there? So I was instantly excited to ride out and check out what he had for sale. G.I. Joe Rolling Thunder. G.I. Joe Rolling Thunder, because if you see here, something similar requires parents put it together from glue.
I thought I had more than this.
Giant Force!
Of these, but apparently my niece is the one that was going through the stuff. And I thought I had another box, but it's all in that one box, except for the characters.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
So at a glance, this stuff definitely needs some cleaning, all right? But it's a huge lot. There's so much stuff here. And my mind is still just reeling at the possibilities. You can't even see it all. I mean, it's just piled up in these big boxes. I cannot wait to see exactly what we've got here. We've got to get it all out and look at it. And you kind of just can't do that when you're picking the stuff up. You just got to give it a once over, figure it up in your mind, and then you got to start talking turkey. So sticking out plain as day, I find a Robotech toy. And some of you that watch the show may know I am a Robotech nut. A certified Robotech historian. What else is in here?
Alright, so this dude was in a cyclone, right? And the cyclone, the upper part's gone, but the feet are still on.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
It's supposed to be a bike.
But it could be feasible that the rest of it was blown off in combat and he survived. And he's just trying to get it how he lives.
There's so much here, and then I see it. The nose of the dadgum thing. The Cobra Night Raven is in one of these boxes. And why is that so important? Man, when I was like 6 years old, I mean, God, what was it, like 84 or something like that? I don't know. Long time ago, needless to say. I got some birthday money. It was like $30, right? From, different relatives and stuff. And I wanted that Night Raven. I wanted it. I don't even remember if there was a commercial, that went with it. I just knew what it was. I knew I wanted it. I remember so vividly going into a toy store and finding it and it up being up on a top shelf and having somebody get it down for us. I mean, you walk into a toy store in the early 80s as a kid with $30. You're like a dadgum millionaire. You're wanting to just make it rain on people. Like, yeah, I can buy anything in here, So yeah, I remember bringing home my Night Raven and just feeling so boss, just feeling on cloud nine, top of the world. That's just always been a fun toy store memory of mine. And I guess because of that, that's always been one of the G.I. Joe items I really wanted back.
What did this? What did this go to?
I don't have no idea.
Because it wasn't G.I. Joe. It went to something.
say, does it?
The more I dig, the more this looks like such a mixed bag. And I mean that in a great way. I mean, it's mostly G.I. Joe, but there's so much different stuff here. I see mask figures. I see muscle men. I may have even seen a GoBot.
And this is a He-Man unit right here. And ironically, it's one I don't have. The Rotor or the Roton or something.
Yeah.
That is definitely cool.
A lot of the pieces and parts are in here.
The Tiger Force. They just repainted everything with tiger stripes and sold it again.
Yeah, exactly.
Yay!
That's what they did. And let's see, where is he?
This went to
this went to the Tiger Force.
Oh yeah, there he is.
This guy is the Tiger Force.
He's holding his cheeks, and he's got a. These guys are left in some really compromising positions for all of eternity.
Yeah. You know what that is?
Is that something out of Tron?
Yes. You put a
like one of those little Orco Ripper things in it and pull it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's what that is.
Hell, I probably got something that would fit it.
So at a certain point, I'm just wondering, does he even have a price in mind for all this? Again, it's time to talk turkey. I got to know what we're doing here.
Did you have a number in mind?
Again, as if we were on a wavelength, he shot out the magic number. Given the condition here, I know there's going to be parts missing. There's a lot of stuff here that needs serious cleaning up. So without, knowing what's complete and what's not, and knowing that, a lot of it could definitely be not, it's really hard to put a value on this. He fired out with $100. I mean, and I was fine with that. I'm more than fine with $100 to relive some serious G.I. Joe memories, especially when I've got such a dadgum itch to scratch. Pack that stuff up. So the stuff's back at the house now, but I still don't even know the whole of what we're looking at here. There's just so much stuff to go through. Let's set us up a workstation and let's start digging through this together. Come on, let's go. So we're here in the kitchen. We got a little bit more room to work down here, and it's about time to start cleaning some of this up. My God, the Cobra Night Raven. I mean, if I could have one thing back from my old collection, it would have been this, and here it is in all its glory. And this thing is a mildewy, dirty mess, but it's still a sight to behold. Now there's obviously more parts that go with this, and they may or may not be in the lot. I mean, there's lots of stuff in that box that we got to get out and go through. We're gonna have to do the parts separately. We're gonna have to get all the little stuff out, figure out what it goes to, clean those things separately, and then just kind of marry them up. But big stuff first. We want to get the vehicles out, get them cleaned up, and then we can start matching the parts to them as we go. And hopefully we're gonna end up with some nice, complete pieces. This thing is fantastic. Let's get started cleaning it up. As big of a G.I. Joe community as there is out there, I would assume somebody is in the business of making replacement decal kits for these things. I mean, some of the stickers are here. Some of them aren't on there very good anymore. They did survive the cleaning somewhat, but some fresh ones would be nice, and then we could clean up under where those old ones were. Just part of just making this thing 100% again. That's what I really want to do. So next up, we've got another vehicle that I had back in the day that I'm very glad to have back, the Snowcat. I mean, this was a pretty neat little unit right here. I actually remember getting this one too. This one's definitely missing some stuff. I'm just going to start off right here with the missile rack. We've got some tabs here. The back part of the mounting tabs are snapped off, so that's a bummer. I have seen parts for this for sale separately. I'm hoping the missiles are somewhere in the lot too, because this will just kind of sit here. So for display's sake, it'll look okay, but it's really not functional. I'm missing one of the skis here that would mount here on the side. And it's just overall really dirty. Other than that, it's completely functional. Pretty sure there was a little windshield wiper that went right here on the cockpit. So we've got some cleanup to do. There's a couple of decals here. As nasty as this is, I kind of just want to give it the dunk. I just want to get in some hot soapy water. And, you know, whatever happens to the stickers is whatever happens. I would rather this thing be a little bit more cleaned up than it is. It would be very hard to detail in all these little grooves here. It's a very detailed back hatch with a look into the engine and all that stuff down in it. So, totally cool toy, but it needs to be cleaned. Let's get it going. Alright, so the Snowcat cleaned up pretty good, and you know, the decals, they stayed on there, so happy about that. I mean, they've been on there a long time, and my thought was that that adhesive's really on there by now, so the water didn't seem to bother it, but it did get all the grime off, and we had to do a little excess detailing with Q-tips, because there's just a lot of detail, especially on the top of this vehicle, but it's so cool and it's so neat to see this thing back here. I'm pretty sure the pilot figure that came with this is also in the lot, so we'll see how complete we can make this. I'd like to get a replacement piece for the missile launcher setup back here, but yeah, all in all, that looks pretty good. Now, I know we've talked about the value here. We paid $100 for this lot, and that may seem like, wow, that's a really good deal, but you gotta think. These things, we call them rare. Well, they're rare to see, but they're not really rare. They sold thousands of these things. So, you know, I mean, a complete Snowcat, you might get $50 for that. But in this condition, you're talking really more around 15 to 20 bucks. So if you were to sell this, pay closing costs on it, and ship it, you'd be left with virtually nothing. I mean, not very much at all. So yeah, that's where there is some risk involved in toy lots when you don't know how complete everything is. Now, I'm not buying these to flip. I'm buying these to relive my childhood, of course, so not worried about that so much. But, you know, we like to look at the financials on our pickup, so that gives you a little bit of background. Some of these things are going to be worth more than others. Some of these are going to be rarer than others, but I was actually surprised to see how little this was actually worth, even though it's something that's worth a lot to me, since I had it as a kid. Now, I cracked up when I saw this thing because I've recently watched the commercial for it, and it cracked me up. This is not one that I had when I was young, and it might not have been one that I bought either. I mean, look at this. What is this? What are you? There's like 3 wheels. It looks like something out of He-Man. I mean, why would the military use something like this? This is just hilarious looking. It's hilarious to me how many different vehicles and gadgets and stuff both sides on G.I. Joe had. Like, who's funding this? But yeah, I don't even know what this thing is called. I should have done the research before I shot this. Just roll the commercial.
Nobody beats G.I. Joe, the G.I. Joe Swamp Master.
There's Storm Shadow and Shockwave.
Swamp Master's ready for some cobra chasing, ripping through the swamp with cannon blazing. And nobody beats G.I. Joe, a real American hero.
Swamp Master, Cobra Amp, and figures sold separately.
Joe!
Yeet the commercial and yeet this thing, but it's cool to have because it's just, well, all of it is. And I cleaned this up pretty much the same way as I did the Snowcat. It was pretty dirty, but the stickers looked to be really on there, so I gave it a nice hot bath, Q-tipped in some of the more detailed areas there, and it looks good. I just need to dry it up a little bit more, but obviously we're missing something right here. And other than that, I don't know what other parts we are missing here, if any. So that's a look at a couple vehicles. Obviously, there's a lot more than that. I mean, we're definitely going to get into at least a 2-parter here. I mean, there's just so much to clean up and so much to value and so much to get complete, you know, with the parts. So that's all going to be done, but there was so many figures too, and I got to think that that's a big
part of the value in this lot. Let's look at some of the figures. So there's about 20 dudes intact here, and there's a lot of pieces on other ones, you know, that could be repaired. They need new rubber bands, legs have fallen off, etc., etc., but not a bad lot. Now, I honestly thought there was more than this intact, but there's not. But there's still some really cool figures here. I think the coolest of all of these, to me, has got to be this Crimson Guard figure. Nothing strikes more fear in the heart of man than the Cobra Elite, and he's just in such great condition. He's got really tight joints. He's still fully posable. The Cobra is still really visible there, the insignia on the chest. So yeah, what a cool figure. And there's so many parts I got to dig through, and hopefully I correctly identify weapons for all of these and maybe have some complete units here. But yeah, just to look at these again is so cool. We had this Cobra Commander with some kind of custom mech armor that he had on or something like that. I vaguely remember this figure, but I did not own it. Old Quick Kick here, seen better days. Doesn't look like he's doing a whole lot of action from the waist down. Again, these just need, you know, new rubber bands. They need tightening up, and I've got a lot to learn about doing that. But yeah, all in all, I just wanted these back to play with, and here they are. So absolutely fantastic. It's just too much, man. It's too much. It's too much to do in one episode, all right? I've got to dig through this. I got a lot of cleaning to do. I got a lot of weapons and parts to match up on these toys, and there's a lot of stuff that's not on brand. I mean, again, this isn't all G.I. Joe, so the actual value of all of this, we have no idea yet. We've already seen enough stuff to know that it was worth the price of admission, though, so that's pretty cool. But if we looked at everything in one episode, you'd be here for hours. I'm going to be working on this stuff for hours, so look forward to another episode coming soon, updating you on where we're at with this amazing lot. And there's going to be more lots in the future like this, because I mean, video games, yeah, always on the hunt for that, but I'm always on the hunt for the toys too, the classics, 80s, early 90s stuff that really just takes me back. I know you're into it too. What did you think about everything that you saw here? Did you have some of this stuff? What kind of memories are flooding back into your mind right now? You know, I want to have a conversation with you, so I gotta have you leave me a comment in the comment section of this video, because you know that I love getting a conversation going with you right here on the Emceemur Show. And I hope that you liked this video and that you're going to drop a like on this video. Most importantly, if you have not already done so, I'm going to need you to subscribe to the Emceemur Show and be a part of our nation, because we're rising up. All the fantastic things we got going on right here, you need to be a part of it. Make sure that you smack that notification bell so you're always the first to know when new content goes live. New content like the update that will be coming soon on all the fantastic stuff going on with this lot. Emceemur signing off for this fantabulous episode, and I will see each and every one of you again next time.